Hi, gang. I'm kind of been sleep deprived, and I'm had a couple drinks here. And when you're kind of like having a buzz, what do? You turn on your little HD webcam, and you make a video. I'm making a little. I guess you may once in a great while on this channel. This isn't like my vlog channel, which I haven't done nearly as much as I wanted to do, but I want to make kind of like a summer vlog here and about what was that noise outside? Sure, sure. Make a video and there's all weird noises. Um, Kind of a little summer vlog here of what's going on with me and YouTube here and what's going on. I'm so busy with my work and things and all the stuff, collecting stuff, and I I've kind of come to the conclusion I've kind of reached, I guess, what you call critical mass with all my uh, things that I collect, like bikes. I live in a town that is really undergoing an unprecedented reconstruction of streets and the highways, and I live in southeastern Wisconsin. I live approximately approximately between Milwaukee and Madison. And in Milwaukee, there's like a lot of the freeways are being, there's like what they call the zoo interchange, the Milwaukee County Zoo. Um, and I don't really have to go into Milwaukee for much anymore. I grew up in that city on the northwest side, but the only time I ever really had to drive in there is like when I've been dealing with this car, this MG, the '79 MG. If you've seen those videos recently about the trials of trying to maintain this, vintage British car. But I've I haven't even driven it in the last couple of weeks because I have to like contemplate, having the money to pay for the latest repairs because the place I take it to doesn't take credit cards. They only deal with cash or a check or whatever. So I had to like think of like the worst case scenario and how much it would cost, for whatever repair or whatever. So, but I kind of put that on the back burner because I got other things I want to do. Like for instance, like if you've seen like my bikes and things like that's my latest one. Um, that one I'm keeping, and the one below it that was also a project. But I'd like to kind of downsize my collection of bikes. I could use the money right now, and I don't really need a whole basement storage locker full of bikes. But things like that, and I'm going to show you maybe real quick. Far as like vinyl, I've gotten a few more records. Pickings have been kind of lean recently, but I do like to give a shout out. I I haven't made a vinyl video in like 6 months, but I have a few records that I've gotten recently, and I want to make videos. But I want to do something a little different. I don't want to just like show a bunch of records at a time and talk about them. I'd like to like put them on. Not on. This is my webcam, but I want to shoot with my HD, my Sony HD camcorder that has um, it has a Dolby Digital stereo microphone. So I want to like do it in my what I call my media room, and then I like to put like the kneel down on tracks because hopefully YouTube will tolerate you playing 30-second segments of music or whatever. And that's kind of like what I wish I could do. I mean, people in the vinyl community, we appreciate music, and maybe if you're my age, I'm probably one of the older people um, who discovered it, or I didn't know there was a vinyl community when I first started making vinyl videos, and that was almost like 5 years ago. But you know, radio is so disappointing because their playlists are so narrow, and they're only thinking about the easy profit rather than like um, really entertaining people and really expanding people's taste in music. You know, it's all about that, you know, just selling, that quick pop hit that's going to end up at Goodwill or whatever, CDs or whatever. And people don't even buy CDs hardly anymore. I mean, I've that's another thing. I mean, lately I've been another stuff I've been collecting is music CDs. I've gotten quite a few, and especially like video DVD movies. With the age of all these streaming services like Netflix and Hulu and all that, a lot of DVD movies are appearing on the shelves at like Goodwill and other thrift stores, and I've gotten like 3 or 4 dozen like in the last like maybe couple of months. And I don't understand the mentality of people. Apparently, they'd rather like they rather have they rather sell for an inferior experience that's more convenient rather than a really quality experience that is like something that they make an event. It's like, and I've said this and some other people in the vinyl community. It's like you play a vinyl record at home, and you probably have a halfway. I would think you'd probably have a halfway decent home sound system, stereo, a decent turntable. That one I got there that quite a while back there. I actually that one I reconditioned from a thrift store find, and I got it. That's a decent analog amplifier on top of there. But it's like people now. It's like they kind of like they'd rather sell for convenient mediocrity rather than looking forward to quality media experiences. Um, Everybody walks around with their head buried in their smartphone, which is something I don't have. I was the last, for instance, I'm probably the most among my members of my siblings and my folks. I'm probably the most advanced as far as knowledge of technology and computers. Although I have a brother he's a little younger than me, and he was a little bit ahead of me as far as computers. He's built like 3 or 4 computers up from scratch, and he was really into like games and stuff like that, which I don't know, most of that's kind of a waste of time, I think. But I only have one phone. I've only ever bought one phone, and I still have it, and I've had it for 10 years. It's one of those ones with a hinge. It's a Motorola V3 Razor, and like I said, I've literally had this phone for like 10 years, and I really don't use the phone that much. I mean, for instance, I have like something like 20 hours of time on this phone it's a month-to-month plan. No contract or whatever. I bought the thing outright at Best Buy 10 years ago for like $120 or something. But I only use the phone really for like business. I'm not obviously, if you see my videos, I'm not like a social butterfly. I'm too busy really for a social life. I'm working or whatever, and I work third shift. So, but anyway, that's kind of like the way I approach technology. I rather wait a couple years and buy something when it's like ridiculously cheap, while everybody else is like, I think, throwing their money away because they think, oh, I have to have the latest, greatest new thing. Whereas in a lot of what you end up finding out is that things that are like you know much older are actually yield a much higher quality um, experience or result. Like with photography, um, 2 3 years ago, I got back into film photography in a really big way. I pretty much rebought all the darkroom equipment I used to have, and I haven't really started using it yet. But I'm really on the cusp of shooting some black and white film again and developing it at home, and then I have bought it in a larger like 2 3 years ago that I haven't used yet, off of eBay. So stuff like that, and in fact I've even found more photo finds. I'm just going to show you real quick as a little teaser. um, I bought, even I uploaded that video with all those photo finds, those cameras and that, and I bought some more, found some more stuff. In fact, just a couple days ago, I got some stuff on this table. If you can see that table down there, I bought that table. It's got stuff on it, but it's a really nice table. I bought it Goodwill for like $10 in mahogany. I was really looking for a nice coffee table, but like I found stuff like. I found this. This is a really great. If you really know things like light meters, if you're a real professional, this is a Gaussian Luna Pro meter, and for like $5, and I'm looking forward to using this. It used to use, for instance, like I used to use older mercury batteries, but I have these little adapter. Um, they're kind of like little bowls that you put like a certain size hearing aid battery in that's of the same voltage, and so I have every reason to believe that this thing will work perfectly, stuff like that. But just to show you real quick as a teaser, some of the vinyl records I picked up since my last video. um, this is like a record that I already found, but funny, it's like this isn't, this has got to be like from the late 50s, early 60s, I think, but I found this copy of this Dwayne Eddy record, and this thing is like absolutely mint. There is like no wear or nothing on this, and like I can even show you the disc here too. um, you know so it's still, I still got such a kick out of finding vintage records that are in like good condition, and I've been playing a lot of records too. Um, this is another cool find. Sometimes it's like you read about a certain artist or whatever, but you don't have anything, records by him or anything. I found this record too. This is kind of like a compilation on electrical. Well, it's called Folk Song 65 here, but it's got a track or two by this guy Fred Neil. And if you know anything about folk music, late 50s, early 60s, Fred Neil was like one of those. He was like kind of like a mentor to Bob Dylan. I mean, if there was no Fred Neil, there may not have been a Bob Dylan, um, back in the early 60s or whatever, that he to develop his style or whatever. But I played this record and it's in fantastic shape too. Let me show you real quick here. But I like to play, maybe on my next vinyl video I might want to put the Neil down on some of these tracks, and you can kind of hear some samples or whatever of this. But another very cool record there. Um, Maybe I might show a couple more here. I don't want to give away all the stuff here. This is another one of early. This is after Buddy Holly's passing, but this was one called Reminiscing Buddy Holly, and this. I mean, the cover's. Oops, sorry. The cover's a little beat and split, but the record is like an excellent shape, and I played it through, and there's hardly any noise or nothing on this. I mean, it's like, I'm not a huge Buddy Holly fan, but it's like to find something like this at like Goodwill for like $1 is like incredible, I think. Um, Another cool find. I think I'll show you maybe one more here. This was a very cool find from the Everly Brothers. This was like they were like still trying to be like relevant in like the pop rock world, until about like 1967, 68. And I think 67 they came up with this record, the Everly Brothers Sing. And like in here, they do like a cover version of a whiter shade of pale and some other ones. There's like a this is just kind of like a drug song, I guess. I mean, there's one called Mary Jane, and of course Mary Jane is slang for marijuana. And if you, I might play you maybe a little bit of this, and you'll get the idea. But actually, the single off here, Bowling Green, that was like basically their last charting um, rock or pop rock, I guess you could call single. And then after that, they kind of like their popularity had really waned in the U.S., but they were still being popular in like England. Same thing with like the Beach Boys. After like Good Vibrations or whatever, it's like the Beach Boys' popularity kind of like fell off over a cliff or whatever. But in England, they were still filling arenas and things like that. But this was another great record and in great condition too. Maybe I can show you this one real quick. Um, on this gold and it's stereo. But yeah, this was like another great record there. Um, but yeah, that's kind of like what I've been up to. Um, I don't know how you feel about what's going on in the news, but it's like it's pretty depressing, what's going on in the Middle East with this, these idiots, these people, ISIS or whatever, these fanatics, and I'm probably one of the most informed people I know because I work a third shift job and I work a production job, and it's kind of boring, and like I'm kind of like torn myself. It's like because I can listen. In fact, I found one of these headphone kind of ear protector combination radios with like a little antenna thing, and I can like listen to the NPR, National Public Radio, and they stream the BBC overnight, so I get like the BBC World News, and a lot of it's like a rolling news format, but it's like you you kind of get a perspective on how good we really have it, in this country, compared to to all the stupidity in like the Middle East, and people drowning, trying to make it to like Italy or Europe or France or whatever. These people from Africa who are like pay smugglers, the equivalent of thousands of dollars. It's like it's just madness. It's really madness, and it's really depressing. But all you can do, I think, is to just try to be successful yourself, take care of your loved ones. Um, Another thing that's depressing is like these how the news loves to pander to like the lowest scumbag denominator, and I'm not being racist or nothing, but it's like I'm so tired of the liberal bias of the news media who always seems to pander to like the lawless element in like every every friggin' inner city. um like I said, I grew up in Milwaukee, and like the Milwaukee of 2015, especially on the northwest side where I grew up in the 1960s and the 1970s, is not the Milwaukee of now. It's like you hear about people getting shot and carjackings because the law enforcement is so soft on crime. They no longer pursue car thefts or whatever and things like that, and so it just emboldens all these scumbags to like disobey the law. And then if these scumbags, they if they're caught by the law or whatever and they resist arrest and they get shot or whatever, they try to attack the cops and things like that, and they get killed. It's like, oh, then there's a big outcry. And I'm so sick of that. I'm so sick of hearing about that. um, I don't know why people can't be responsible. Maybe people should you know, that's kind of like one of the themes of this channel is like I have so many things, projects and things like that. I don't, even as a kid, I didn't have the opportunities that other kids had. Um, I didn't have, our family didn't have the money to buy me, like stuff, crafts and things like that. Or what I really wanted was like, say, a guitar, a decent musical instrument to learn to play and things like that. And but now I do now. But the problem is now it's like finding the time is so difficult. But that's what makes, I think, people like us different. We have all these interests, and we're into like self improvement, self development. Um, we like to share our hobbies and things like that on this channel, and it's not like, another thing that annoys me is about the uh, the society or whatever that tries to pander to these, inner city people. It's like their answer always seems to be sports. Okay, it's like, you know yeah, like I said, I mentioned this in another video. I'm so tired of all these, the only people that seem to be successful that come back to the inner city neighborhoods, to try to like encourage these kids are like sports stars or entertainment. It's like, those are not, to me, those are not real jobs. Okay, we need some like a plumber or an engineer, or some sort of entrepreneur, to come back to these kids and say, get a real job, okay? You know, there's only so many openings in the NBA, okay? Um, but that's just the way the media is. It is so biased against people to empower themselves, um, to actually make something of themselves, and school. I mean, yeah, you have to stay in school and stuff like that too, but it's like, to me, school and learning are like, sometimes they're like completely different things. Um, I'm gonna do like a vlog on my other channel, called What's Up With That. I'm gonna talk about my school experience, and despite getting pretty decent grades, I could not wait. I could not get out of school fast enough. In fact, I actually graduated a semester early because I had earned enough credits, and only through a technicality, I probably could have skipped my entire senior year, and because of, only because of a technicality, I had to stay um, into my senior year one semester. My sister actually got graduated at like 16. She was able to like skip a grade and a half back in like elementary school because she was like a straight A student or whatever. But that's the way my family were. We were like very intelligent, and we loved to learn, but it's like school didn't seem to be conductive to that. It was more like a social, public schools to me were like nothing more than glorified babysitting services for all these, a lot of rotten kids, these, a lot of, and I'm not saying racial, but it's like a lot of white working class families, kids were like, they were such a-holes that I had to grow up among. And I didn't miss the public school experience one bit when I did get out. In fact, that drove my thirst for lifelong learning, was being able to learn things at my own pace. Sometimes it's faster, sometimes it's slower than the average person. But you know, if people got turned on to learning, lifelong learning, they wouldn't get in trouble. It seemed to be this opposite kind of mentality where people think that they want to do as little as possible, just squeak by or whatever. Like they think their brain will be easily overloaded if they have to force to learn too much or something. And that's not the case. So I don't know. This thing's getting a little long here, but like basically what I want to say is like, I hope your summer's going well, and mine's going pretty well. I wish I could enjoy the weather, but like I said, I pretty much have to be a day sleeper because I work third shift here. But I would say look forward to some more videos coming up. Some more videos are gonna really start into our like I said, I'm gonna be doing some vinyl videos, and I've gotten a lot of photography videos, kind of like start well not started, but I'm gonna do like some more in-depth kind of like camera of vintage camera videos, and I've been studying other people's videos, and there's like things that they don't really um, include in their videos, like how to take a camera that you find, say Goodwill, and get it working, and to use as practical, especially for like a student or whatever, that is studying photography or whatever. You sooner or later, if you don't have a certain kind of camera, you film camera, you're going to need one. And a lot of the things that a lot of other people who make camera videos, film camera videos, they don't go and talk about um, how to update the battery issue, like with meters and things like that. And that's what I'm going to do too. But gee, like what else can I talk about here? Um, but that's basically where we're at here. Um, Making more videos, and you know, I try to like watch other people's videos, especially like in the vinyl community. I added a couple new subscriptions, although I gotta say that um, there's only maybe like 5 or 6 people in the vinyl community that I really follow, or occasionally comment on. And when I make and I see some people, I watch their videos, and they'll have like a long list of comments, and I don't get that many comments. But then again, it's maybe I don't have that high profile like a lot of people. I've only made like 29 uh, videos, in like 5 years or whatever. But when I do make one, I try to make it like interesting and entertaining and informative. I don't, you know, I try to like keep it fun for myself too. But I actually the part I actually enjoy most is the post production, I would say. But then again, sometimes I don't have the time to make kind of style video that I used to make, where I used to have music and things, and some extras and things that added in. So, but I just like to say, I just like to thank all my subscribers too. I never ever thought I'd get this many subscribers. I got like over 950 subscribers. So on this channel. So I'm happy that people like what I'm doing here. So it's not like I'm just doing this for myself or whatever. So I have to say thanks again, and I hope your summer's going well, everybody. And I'd say if you're a person of faith, keep the faith. I know I am. So with that, I'll say goodbye for now. Bye.